He was wearing glasses and really raggedy clothes and carrying a laptop, and I was like, who is that?
And who was the person that tried to give you a clue about what the town was like?
I just had to, like, for a while, I would just kind of be quiet and watch. Because I had never met, I didn't know any people that in South Dakota that were artists or painters or musicians. Like, I'd never met like an artist. And so sometimes, I would run into people there and like go to their house and just kind of like play it cool, just not say anything for a while and just kind of observe how people lived.
And the first couple of months, where did you live? How did you get by?
Well, I was going to school out there, went to university out there. So I lived around there, it's like a weird time. It's like, I don't feel very connected to that as much as I feel more connected to the people that I met later through doing music, like hanging out with like Tara and Henry from Amps for Christ, and starting to go hang out, like I said, like at the Smell and play music and go around and get into some trouble and have a lot of fun.
Can you name some trouble?
Oh, just staying out really late. A funny one is I was hanging out with my friend Tara, and Sam McFeeters, is her husband. He's like very kind of famous straight edge guy. He was in like Born Against and Men's Recovery Project and stuff. And it was my last day of university, and I drank an entire bottle of champagne. And he came and picked me up, and I had to have him pull over off the 10 so I could puke in some rose bushes. And I was so embarrassed. But just stuff like that, just general running around, like going to different spots, different bars. And
is that how the Amps for Christ thing got about? How did you meet those people?
I was a music director at a radio station, so I was doing radio stuff, and I just met Tara, and she just like seemed so cool. She's one of my best friends still to this day that lives there. So, and I felt so lucky to play with them because I loved the record, and it was like mind-blowing to me like how distinct of a sound it was. And I had never heard something where within one record it had its own like musical language and musical sonic signature as much as that did. So that had a huge influence on me, being like wanting to make music that was very distinct and that had its own signature throughout the whole record. It was really influential.
What kind of gigs did you play?
Just like I said, we always used to play. There was this spot in downtown LA called The Smell that I think now is kind of more recognized as being, the place where lots of bands kind of came up, like, No Age and Mika Miko, and there was also like a ton of noise stuff going on there. But at the time, it was before it was kind of more well-known as it is now, so it was kind of like, oh, I guess we're going to The Smell again, or oh, we gotta go play at The Smell again, and then later everyone's like, The Smell is this legendary downtown, but at the time it was just like, oh, well, my friends are playing at The Smell again, I'm gonna go there. And so doing a lot of that, and then just different underground, like weird warehouse spots or in a gallery, kind of like, more underground or art spaces.
At least you can say you were there in the beginning
I
days.
know, yeah. Yeah, I remember when you could still drink in there. You could still drink and smoke in there, and now it's like...
That's over now?
I don't think
Yeah?
Yeah, they don't... You have to sneak. Yeah.
And when was Gowns formed? Was that during that time? Or
yeah,
after?
it was during that time. Yeah, I was playing around with Tara, doing different stuff, and I saw... At the time, the Meishi play, which I thought at the time in LA was like the best band in LA, and I got a huge crush on the singer. I was just like, because he walked into this bar. I didn't know who he was, but I was like, he's wearing glasses and really raggedy clothes and carrying a laptop, and I was like, who is that? Because I like nerdy, scruffy guys. So I was just like, ooh, he's cute. And so I didn't ever expect him, though, to be interested in me as a musician. It was surprising to me. Like we started hanging out, and you know, he was doing this thing, and I was kind of still very shy about sharing these different musical ideas that I had had. So, you know, at one point I played him like a weird demo of a song I did, which was White Like Heaven, which I just recorded in the garage. And he was like, I was like, this is kind of weird, I don't know, I just, you know, made this thing, and it's, I don't know, it's really bizarre. And he was like, oh, this is cool, I'll throw down some electronics on it. And it was like it felt very affirming to me. Like I had these ideas, but I wasn't brave enough yet to stand on my own and, you know, claim them as mine. Or yeah, it was good for me at that point in time to have someone to kind of tell me that I wasn't a freak or wasn't full of crazy ideas. That my ideas were